Do you think that's the biggest difference in the modern product and your?
Well, I think that sure the wrestling. There were complaints as I was starting in the profession from guys from back in the 20s and the 30s who were then getting into their 60s that there was even complaining when somebody threw the first tackle off the ropes, used the ropes to throw a tackle. That was looked upon very, very seriously by a lot of the Hackenschmidts and the Everett Marshalls and the Jim Londuses and people of that era, because they would get in a hold and the match would be 3 hours, and one would say it was very boring. But I mean, however you want to judge the contest, that's somebody else's privilege from that time. But so it just seems to be a progression. I think today it's much like our society. Wrestling reflects it in the sense that they're all panicked and everybody's got to rush at 99 miles an hour to go someplace to do something, to get a move or get another hold or whatever it might be. And in the process of doing it, they want to also do all these spectacular moves. And in making all these spectacular moves, they are. I mean, I'll sit there and I know that a lot of times, my former manager, Bobby Heenan, when I was commissioner for the WCW for a while, and I would sit down at ringside, and Bobby would be sitting there with Tony Schiavone doing, the play-by-play in the color, and we'd see some of these moves off the top rope, and Bobby and I would just look at each other like, you believe what these guys are doing? That was the thought that, and just shake our heads. Because people say, oh, well, you know how to land and it doesn't hurt. I'm sorry. Every time you come down from 5 feet or 6 feet in the air or higher and you stop suddenly, yeah, there's a rubber mat and it's about that thick, and then there's these double boards on top of these steel beams. And, yeah, there's a little give in the ring, but there's not that much give. And if
it's not a mattress, by any
means. No, it's not a big 4 foot thick soft cushiony rubber that the stuntmen use in the movies. And I mean it just and we would, and Bobby and I'd see these moves and we'd just go, oh. I mean there was no way I was going to do it. So I mean I credit the guys that are in the ring today. They're beating themselves up far worse than even we did. Really.
Now, do you think that that's the change in the audience? Does a wrestler have to do that today to be a main eventer?
I think inadvertently nobody sits down and analyzes this. There are certain people who set a certain standard, and then somebody comes along, they see that standard, and they're the young bucks, and they just start off at that same standard, and they just keep going. And I think a lot of the wrestlers just feel this urgency, even though the matches aren't judged on points. You'd swear they were by the number of moves they make and the high-profile moves they make, and it seems to be an accepted essence that they just get in there and they're in a rush. They're just madly in a rush to go someplace and do something, and God bless them, they're beating each other to death.
All right, you've been listening to Nick Bockwinkel.
This is Barry Von Reschke. I watch the Prima Dons, Channel 32, 1030. Be there. That is all you need to know.
Hi everybody, I'm Mick Karsh, and I'm here to tell you that every Tuesday evening at 10:30, my family and I get together and watch the Prima Dons on Channel 32 MTN. Don't we, kids?
No.
He said, you got to obey the rules. Well, if a guy's kicking me in the face, the rule says I kick you back. Believe me, I'm not going to stand there and let you do something to me that I can't do back. And that,
you heard it here.
My golden rule was do it to them before they do it to you. That's the way to win.
Yeah.
But the idea is not win if you lose. Win if you can, lose if you must. But always make sure you're on top at the end.